SIG Sauer P226. Obviously, just like any other weapon system, what you do is remove the source of ammunition, lock the slide to the rear, and lo and behold, out comes that round that's always hiding in there. From front to back, the takedown lever, magazine release, the decock lever, and then the slide stop. Pretty easy to remember, and all the SIG family weapons all work like this. So I'll go from front to back. We'll talk about how each one of these works. So I'm going to take the weapon apart. I come back to the slide stop. Notice thumb pressure up, and I'm taking my non-shooting hand and I'm going to push the slide to the rear and just hold it. As my hand comes over the top, notice the slide stop fits up into that notch coming forward. Now I take the takedown lever, come from the 3 o'clock position. This one's a little stiff because it's new. Come down to the 6 o'clock position. All I do, same thing, left hand, right hand, and now all I'm going to do is come off the slide stop and take the slide completely off the frame. So we look at the frame or the frame group, recoil spring guide, taking care. I take that out of its notch and just remove it and set it off to the side. I come back, take the barrel, lift it up and out of the slide. Before I get any solvents going and start my cleaning process, I'm going to put on some rubber gloves. I've got iPro on in case I use some aerosol solvents. Any of this stuff splashes in my eyes, I really don't want contact with it. Come in here, take a look. I can come in here with just a little bit of aerosol propellant. WD-40 is the solvent I like. It's just kerosene. I don't need to spray a whole bunch on there. I'm going to shoot a little bit down in the mag well. Down onto the actual trigger system. Just using a basic rag. Taking the big chunkies off. Get into the fine stuff. Again, that Frankenstein toothbrush, nylon, so we're not running metal on metal. Come down in the mag well. And go to compressed air. Since I've got iPro on, no big deal. I'm just going to cover this a little bit with a towel so that WD-40 doesn't go all over the place. Now all we're doing now is displacing that solvent. Notice these machine grooves where it interfaces with the frame. So same process, a little bit of WD-40, not much. People get carried away with this stuff, turn it into a bath exercise. Again, nylon bristle brush, come in on these machine marks where it's going to interface. So that WD-40 goes all the way down through there. Just a decent clean rag. Come back with compressed air. Get all this excess in a towel so it's not going all over, and simply get the majority of that WD-40 out of there. Back here on the chamber end, you see this ramp. This is where the bolts are actually going up and into the chamber. You'll see that looks pretty nasty. Some of this carbon and some of this dirt will come off with a nylon bristle brush. Some of it won't. I'm going to come in with a soft tool and simply just scrape it across that face. And I don't know if you can see that black gunge, that's all carbon buildup. If you let that sit on the weapon long enough, you'll end up having to take this off and really work it hard. Basic maintenance performed bi-monthly or monthly, depending on how much you shoot the weapon, you should be good. People always ask the question, okay, How much should I actually clean the barrel? Well, what you're trying to do is there's some lands and grooves or some machining marks in here that actually spin the bullet as it comes out of the barrel. So, here's my cleaning brush. Brass, the bronze brush on it. Same thing, just a shot of WD. Old sniper habit, always come in from the chamber end, not coming in from the crown end. Again, if you nick this crown, you could ruin the accuracy on this barrel. So if you come in here the way the bullets enter the barrel, simply run it through. It'll spin on those lands and grooves and then come out the other side. Nice and easy. And then we just come back. So here are all kinds of things. For every bullet, run the brush through it 10 times. I don't think that's even close to necessary. I hold this up to the light, I take a look at it, I can see a nice polished machine finish, not a whole lot of nasty stuff in there. So I'm going to retire my board brush, and I'm going to come back to a patch. This is simply the same thing with a cloth patch on the end. Again, I come in from the chamber end, come through, and back. Now I'm removing, see how dirty that got? So here we are. So I'm removing some of that nasty lubricant. I'll come back with another patch, and it should be coil spring guide. Again, quick inspection, no burrs, no nicks, no deformities, looks pretty intact. Come back to the recoil spring, take a look, nicks, cracks, places where it's worn real heavy, wipe this down. We'll get ready for our reassembly. Recoil spring guide, simply put these back together. What I do, I take a nice quality lubricant, I just take a drop or two and just put it on the spring and leave this thing upside down and then let the oil run down the spring. There's our barrel. It's going to drop. Easiest way to do this, hold the slide upside down, drop the barrel in just the way it fits in there. Leaving it upside down, just take your recoil spring guide, fit it back into that little slot. This is where it gets tricky. Maintain control of this thing or it will go across the room if you slip. Grip panels are going back on. Fit them nice and tight. I'm going to take one glove off here because of these little... Now, if you want, this is where you can use just a skosh, a thread locker, on the threads of these little screws so they don't vibrate out when you're shooting. Nice and easy. I've got a big screwdriver here. So what I do, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, I run it left, get the thread seated, tighten that one up just a bit, come back to the bottom one, again, go left first, then to the right, get this one to tighten up, come back to the first one, and then come back to the next one, give it just an extra eighth of a turn. Easy day. Don't gorilla grip those things. So all I'm going to do is interface those machine grooves here and here with the machine grooves on the frame. So I line these up level, simply put A with B, slide it back, it shouldn't hang up, it should come back. I push up on the slide lock, I bring takedown lever back to the 3 o'clock position, run the slide forward, hit the decock lever. Now we're almost home. I'll do a final wipe down. I don't want to get any fingerprints on this thing. So now we need a function check. Real easy. Double action. Finger on the trigger. Hammer should go back and then fall. I'm going to make sure the weapon's still clear. So there's our double action. Cock it to the rear. single action, everything works with the trigger just fine. Now, I'll go back to double action, hold it to the rear, cycle the slide just like we're shooting, and now you should have that audible click. There's the decock, and press one more time. There's your single action shot. Easy day. Slide upside down, drop in the barrel, drops down in there. Come in with a recoil spring and recoil spring guide. Being careful here to put pressure in so it collapses the spring and then catches on that notch. And there we go. Key point, it's going to be level with the frame. It's not sitting up at a funny angle. Put slide back down, come back to the frame. All I do is I take A with B, I put the machine part of the frame together with the machine grooves in the slide and simply slide one on top of the other. Bring it all the way back, engaging the slide stop. Take the takedown lever, move back to the 3 o'clock position, and then run the slide forward, hit the decock lever, and there you are.